The story takes place in a rural village in Africa, where the land is parched under a blazing sun. The village is simple yet beautiful, with thatched huts scattered across a dusty landscape surrounded by sparse trees. For centuries, the people here have endured hunger, poverty, suppression, and injustice. Life is a constant struggle, and most have resigned themselves to this harsh reality. A few elites hold all the power, controlling resources and the lives of the many. The majority of villagers accept their suffering with quiet despair, believing it to be an unchangeable part of life. One sweltering summer evening, amidst the stillness of the village, a young man appears. He is seated beneath the broad shade of an ancient baobab tree at the heart of the village. His eyes are deep and expressive, holding a calmness that seems to draw people in. He sits cross-legged, meditating, completely undisturbed by the oppressive heat. Villagers, intrigued by this mysterious figure, begin to gather around him. A few sit nearby, curious but silent, trying to understand what he is doing. Strangely, those who sit near him start to feel a sense of peace they've never known before. Every evening, the young man walks into the village from a distant place and meditates under the same tree. His serene demeanor becomes a quiet spectacle. More and more villagers join him, drawn by the unexplainable sense of calm they experience in his presence. One evening, nearly 100 people gather around him. They sit in silence, feeling a mix of curiosity, healing, and inexplicable happiness. Yet the young man remains silent, his presence alone speaking volumes. One day, as a crowd of about 200 villagers gathers under the tree, a group of skeptics sits at a distance, murmuring among themselves. These men, hardened by years of deception and exploitation, look at the young man with suspicion. "Who is he?" one of them asks. "Is he sent by God, or is he another trickster here to control us just like the elites?" As if sensing their doubts, the young man slowly opens his eyes and speaks for the first time since his arrival. Faith is that immeasurable, ever-changing force within you. It is what brings calmness and confidence, and in that state you experience miracles. Just as a child has unshakable faith in their mother, we all carry within us this innate quality. Faith is the bridge between your struggles and your strength. You doubt because you have been hurt, because you lack time and patience. That is not your fault. I am here not to control you, but to help you rediscover your faith. It is this faith that will give you the courage and stillness to take charge of your destiny. But remember, it is you who must act. His words, though powerful, leave the villagers in confusion. The real issue among them is trust, broken too many times to be easily repaired. Some villagers decide to distance themselves from the young man, meditating alone instead. Yet over time, they find themselves drawn back to him. His presence brings them an undeniable sense of comfort and renewal. This cycle continues for years. The villagers fluctuate between embracing the young man as their guide and doubting his intentions. Regardless, his quiet influence begins to change them. They start to find inner strength, courage, and a renewed sense of purpose. One day, without warning, the young man disappears. The villagers search for him in vain. His absence leaves a void, and many weep, feeling the pain of separation. Yet as time passes, they realize something profound. In his presence, they had learned to trust themselves. They now felt more content, confident, and capable of shaping their own futures. The young man's teachings had planted the seeds of faith within them, and though he was gone, they realized that faith is indeed an immeasurable feeling, a force that makes you stronger and more contented.